After covering numerous Call of Duty titles in this Is It Still Playable series, I figured it was only fitting to cover a Battlefield game, more specifically the first of which that I've ever played online for, which obviously is Bad Company 2. A game that came out in 2010, which makes this just over 12 years old at this point. But is the multiplayer alive? And is the game still playable here on the PS3 in 2022? That's what we're going to find out today. So Bad Company 2 is right before DICE established the whole server browser thing, where you can find lobbies that were hosted by DICE or by player admins. Which is, yes, a good and bad thing, because this means that you're not going to get banned or kicked from a admin-hosted lobby simply because you pissed off someone for whatever various reason. Coinciding with Battlefield's growing toxic community that was plaguing the games that followed after Bad Company 2. But it also kind of limits the ability to find servers or lobbies centered towards a certain map or a certain mode. I mean, true, you can still do that in Bad Company 2, don't get me wrong, but the chance of you finding a lobby with those requirements that you set are slim to none. You also cannot tell how many people are playing this game in general, which is okay. A lot of games don't exactly have like live player counts or anything like that, especially for the time. But it does leave me wondering how much or how little people are playing this. Though, gun to my head, if I were to make any sort of educated guess, I would suspect that the player count is under 80 total players. Now, why is that? Why would I suspect such a low number? Well, you see, a lot of the lobbies I was, and I quote, joining were dead, with it just being me and maybe one or two other players. This doesn't happen all the time, to be fair, but when I am connecting to a lobby with other people, it's usually around half full. I think I've only been involved in a few matches where the player count was completely full. And I played this game for a total of maybe 4 or 5 hours, and to be fair, yes, there were days where finding matches were significantly easier than others. So I guess it kind of depends on the day and time, and you gotta hope that a good amount of people are playing this. I can only imagine that DLC is a complete ghost town as well, because if so few people are playing the vanilla stock maps, the idea that bulk of them, let alone any of them, are playing the DLC is just no. I have seen a handful of new users in the matches that I've been in, but not really a whole lot. It seems like this game is mostly comprised of die-hard fans and max ranks above anything else, which maybe can deter new players from playing this in a way because a good amount of these max rank people are really good at the game. So someone just getting into here in 2022 might be overwhelmed by those with a generally high level of skill. And because I have not played this game in many, many years, I fall into that category of someone who is much less skilled than the average Bad Company 2 player these days. In other words, I suck at this game. I don't have too much to say about the connection or the lag in Bad Company 2, because there were so few times while playing that I noticed any sort of connection issue. Nothing major, just bad spikes in the lag or maybe even the frame rate. And this is possibly due to connecting into matches overseas or maybe thousands of miles away. Who really knows why the connection dips happened? However, the connection overall is more or less what I remembered when I played this game those many years ago. Unless you personally have bad internet, or maybe you live in areas that are outside of the US and UK, I don't exactly think you'll come across too many issues with lag. Next, let's talk about the hacker situation in Bad Company 2. The problem with a game like Battlefield is that it's much more difficult to expose a hacker, like you can in most Call of Duty games thanks to their kill cams. I mean, obviously you can see the enemy's position when you go down, but you can't see what they're looking at, making it much harder to definitively, without a shadow of a doubt, tell that they're cheating unless they're stupid obvious about it. In my experience of playing this, I cannot tell if there was any hackers in the games I've played. In fact, I would go as far as to say there wasn't any at all. Nothing came across as fishy, I didn't die in any sketchy ways, nothing happened to ever make me raise an eyebrow. Which is great. To be honest though, I've never even heard of people hacking this game on the PS3. I'm sure it's happened, but I was always under some sort of impression that DICE was pretty good about eliminating hackers and cheaters in their games. Now, whether or not that's true, I guess can be up for debate. Now let's wrap things up here by, of course, asking the question, is Battlefield Bad Company 2, a game that came out over a decade ago, still playable in 2022 on the PS3? Sorta, kinda, no, not really. Not because of anything other than the low player count. There's just not that many people active in this game anymore. You might get lucky like I did on some days where getting into good established matches wasn't exactly all that difficult, while other days it's a pain in the ass to even find a half-filled match. Yeah, there's no hackers. Yeah, nothing really bad with the connection. It's overall fine, but if you have very few people to play the game with, then it's kind of pointless in the end. At this point in the game's life, I would say that if you do want to play this, if you have any desire at all, then I highly suggest you hop on it now before that already low player count gets worse and worse and the servers eventually get shut off entirely. It's a great game, and a lot of fun still, even today, so if you know you're gonna regret not playing this for the first time, or even the last time, well, here's your sign to jump back on. And that's all I really got today, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. I will be continuing this series, of course, maybe not with Battlefield, but another game I've had my eyes on for a while, so stick around to see what that game is. And if you do have a suggestion, leave it in the comments below. Anyway, until next time, everyone, take care, and I will see you next time.